I did want to talk to you guys about... Oh. I wanted to talk to you guys about something. I wanted to talk to you guys about the backlash against the multicolored revolution. You know how they talk about colored revolutions? They say, oh, there's a color revolution, you know, the orange revolution, there was a green revolution, whatever, blue revolution, there was the orange revolution in, you know, blue revolution or orange revolution in Kazakhstan or whatever. Well, there is a multicolored revolution, and they hoist up a banner that is multicolored. That's supposed to represent the rainbow. Okay. I want to talk to you guys about this. There is currently a backlash. For over a decade, we have watched as the multicolored revolution advanced itself, gained many victories, and succeeded in convincing tens of millions of people, if not hundreds of millions of people, that to support the multicolored revolution would mean to support freedom and liberty and democracy, and to support progress. And that if anyone ever tries to question the multicolored revolution, those people would be bigots, cavemen, primitive people, people who are backwards, people who are against progress, people who are counter progress. And they have won many battles. The multicolored revolution has won many, many battles. And then, one day they decided, well, we've gotten all this success. Looks like the world is now on our side, and the world wants to see more of this multicolored revolution. So what did they do? They got a picture of a man wearing a dress, and they put it on a beer bottle. And that's what they did. That's what they did. And so they put it on a beer can. They put it on a Bud Light can. And all that did was it pissed off a bunch of people. Pissed off a lot of people. And so, ever since then, we've been seeing a huge backlash against this movement, this multicolored movement. So they put on the beer can a picture of a man wearing a dress. And people lost their damn minds. They were so angry, so filled with rage. And they were people doing videos of themselves shooting Bud Light cans. Which is kind of strange to me because you bought the damn cans, which means that Bud Light got the money, which means they don't really give a shit if you shoot their cans. But ultimately, what Bud Light did was bad for business. It was bad for marketing. And I read a story yesterday. I posted on this yesterday. Bloomberg did a report stating that for the first time in 5 years, companies in the United States are not enthusiastic about boasting about how pro-LGBT they are. For the first time in 5 years, we have seen a major decline in companies promoting pride. I remember years ago going to Target and you would see the flags and they would really be in your face about it. But this year, in June, I went to Target. There really wasn't so much of it. It was there, but just by a little. It was there, but it wasn't that big. You saw a few things here and there, and that was it. So why is this? Why? Because there's a backlash. After 10 plus years of having to hear about the glories of the multicolored revolution, enough people have had enough. The lid has been blown. And a lot of people have been pushed to their limits. They don't want to see this crap. They don't want to see it. They don't want to see it anymore. It has come to the point where you can go onto YouTube and find any video about Uganda's anti-LGBT agenda bill. Do it. Do it right now if you want. Pause this video and go ahead and do it. Go on YouTube, type in Uganda, LGBT, watch any video, and read the comments. Read the comments. Almost every comment is in support of Uganda. Go watch any video about Russia's multicolored propaganda laws, right? Go watch any video talking about Russia's laws against LGBT propaganda. Read the comments. Most of the comments that you find will say, "Oh, good for Russia. Oh, good for Russia. Russia's a sovereign country. They can do what they want. Good for Russia. Good for Russia. Good for Russia." Go look up any video about China and China's laws against this propaganda. Read the comments. Comments are a great way to gauge how a lot of people feel about a certain topic. A great example, a great illustration of this is movies. If you want to get an idea if a film is worth watching, don't go on Rotten Tomatoes because they're rotten. I mean, I've seen garbage, shit movies get 10 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes, A++ on Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes is bullshit. It's full of film snobs who think that they're intellectually superior, and they love to masturbate themselves. They love to masturbate their own knowledge on film. So they'll give some garbage film that's an hour long, and it's a independently made, and they'll say it's a 100 out of 100, A++, and you watch the movie and it's like some sick garbage. Don't go on Rotten Tomatoes. Don't go to any film critics. Don't go on Wikipedia or whatever. Simply go onto YouTube and find the trailer for the film that you're thinking about watching. Pause the trailer. You don't need to watch it because nowadays they spoil half the movie on the damn trailer anyway. And just read the comments. The comments will tell you everything you need to know. If you find enough people in the comments section saying that the film was really good, usually the film is really good. There have been very few times where following the comments was a mistake. Most of the time, the commenters are correct, and the film is actually really good, really entertaining. So comment sections are a great way to gauge the general sentiment about a particular thing or a particular subject, a particular issue. You get an idea of how people feel about something. So when I watch videos about Uganda's laws and you find so many comments in support for Uganda, or when I find videos about Russia's laws, or Hungary going against this movement, or Poland going against this movement, and you read the comments, and the commenters are saying, good for them, good for them, good for them, good for them. And you'll find people who say, no, this is bad, and they agree with the multicolored revolution. But for the most part, you find when you find comments that are in support for the country that's legislating against this stuff, that gives you an idea that, hey, a lot of people are tired of this stuff. A lot of people, to the point where Bud Light has lost so much revenue, so much profit. I mean, they were having 30% declines in their profit. And it just continued that way, continued going down that rate. It tells you a lot. It really tells you a lot. What's amazing, guys, is that 10 years ago, I was talking about this stuff. 10 years ago, I was talking about the dangers of this movement. And you know what I got? For the most part, I got hatred. When I was speaking out against this agenda, I'm going to just recline myself a little bit here because why not, right? We're having a nice conversation here in the tavern. But when I was talking about this stuff, I received almost entirely hatred from people. I received hatred from evangelicals. I remember receiving hatred from Dr. Michael Brown. Dr. Michael Brown, he was a pretty big deal at that time. You know, he was very popular. He had a big movement on YouTube. And I remember Michael Brown, you know, big pastor, he's got this big YouTube channel, big following, all this stuff. I remember Michael Brown, Dr. Michael Brown, writing an article against me. And I challenged Michael Brown to a debate. And he accepted, and we debated for an hour. It was an epic debate. You can go ahead and watch it. It's still up on YouTube. I remember debating Michael Brown on this issue. I remember receiving hatred from people like Robert Spencer. Oh my God, Robert Spencer. I remember back in 2017, Robert Spencer, the big counter-jihad guy, Robert Spencer writing a book review for a homoerotic book against Islam. And I wrote an article exposing this book for its degeneracy. And I remember thinking, why in the hell is Robert Spencer, supposedly a Catholic, writing a positive review for a homoerotic book? This was back in 2017, guys. Wasn't that long ago. Why didn't anyone give a shit? Why wasn't there a backlash? I remember Michael Voris bringing Milo onto his program. And I confronted Michael Voris on it. In fact, I'll play for you guys a video if you haven't seen it. I confronted Michael Voris on this. And Michael Voris hung up the phone on me. Hung up the phone on my face, guys. How come there was no backlash against Michael Voris? And how come Michael Voris didn't sit there and think, why in the hell am I bringing this guy on? How come Michael Voris didn't listen to the warning that I was giving him? Didn't listen to the reality that I was trying to convey to him, that what he was doing was wrong. To bring this guy on, to bring Milo Yiannopoulos, a guy who promoted pedophilia twice. Michael Voris didn't think, wow, I'm doing something wrong here. He didn't give a shit. Why? Because he's corrupt. That's why. And the whole conservative movement is really rotten to the core. Dude, this was back in the day. Here I was confronting this guy. Let's watch this a little bit. This is when I confronted Michael Voris. Why the hell was he bringing Milo on? See, and there's a reason why I'm playing this for you guys, because there's all this backlash happening. But years ago, there was no backlash. Years ago, there was no backlash. You had conservatives bringing in Milo. They were praising this guy. Didn't matter that he promoted pedophilia or pederasty. That didn't matter. None of that. No, that didn't matter. Nobody gave a damn because Milo was considered a big name, and that was the only reason why. But now there's this backlash, and people are against pride, and people are against drag shows, and oh, drag queens, oh, it's so bad, it's so terrible. Yeah, I agree, it's terrible, and I'm glad there is a backlash against this stuff. I'm glad that people are outraged at this stuff. But the reality is that years ago, when I was warning people about this stuff, I got almost nothing but shit from people. That is the reality. That is the reality. But here's the video of me talking to this asshole. Let me raise my volume up. Hold on. Here we go. back in the day when I looked like a gas station register guy.
Hello?
Hello, Mr. Voris. This is Theodore Schubot. Long time no talk. How you been?
Hey, good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
A little crammed, but life continues on well.
Right. Well, this won't take long. I just have a quick question for you. Like, why are you guys now promoting Milo? I saw.
I mean, here I am. I'm asking him the question, right? I'm not like attacking him from the beginning, not doing that. Just asking him a simple question. Let's go on
Facebook.
Say it again.
Why is Church Militant now promoting Milo Yiannopoulos? I saw this on Facebook.
Why are we promoting? I don't necessarily say we're
acting stupid. This is what people always. This is what I hate about the conservative movement, guys. It's so full of insincere people. It's so full of people who don't have integrity. When they're confronted on something, they were promoting Milo. Yes, when you advertise someone in a positive way, when you post their picture up on social media and say, "Oh, we're going to have Milo on the show," or "We're going to be posting this interview with Milo. It's going to be great," blah 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 blah, and you're not talking negatively about the person, you are promoting that person. The bottom line, that is the bottom line. You are promoting that person. If I am interviewing an actor, a famous actor, and I say, I'm going to have Harrison Ford on the YouTube channel, am I promoting Harrison Ford? Well, I'm not bashing Harrison Ford. I say I love his movies. I think he's great. He's doing some great things. I am promoting him. The bottom line, I'm not promoting him. Let's listen to more of this bullshit.
promoting him.
Well, you post up this interview with him, and he's sitting there talking about, oh yeah, I joke about my fondness with black dudes, and
yeah, they posted up this interview with Milo, and Milo was literally talking about how he liked black guys, and this was on Church Militant. See, I'm not oh god, my cat's knocking on the door. I'm glad that there is a backlash against this evil agenda and movement. But the question that I'm having is, why is the backlash happening now of all times? And why the hell wasn't it happening when people like Michael Voris were promoting this agent of the multicolored movement? You know what I mean? Like Milo Yiannopoulos was pushing freaking pedophilia. I mean, like, guys, it's fucking, I never understand, because people are like, oh, the trans movement, oh, the drag queens, it's about kids, they're bringing kids to drag queens, and yeah, it's disgusting, I agree with you, but Milo was promoting pedophilia. Excuse me, he was promoting pedophilia and pederasty and all this shit, and he was in the conservative movement, and here is Michael Voris, the lead guy for traditionalist Catholic media, and he's bringing this guy on. And it's like, how come nobody flipped out over this? That's why I'm thinking, like, what is the point? It's like, what is the point? Like, what is the? Why is the backlash happening now of all times? And when I was confronting these people, I didn't really get a lot of support from people. I got a lot of hatred from people.
oh yeah, he's comparing himself to Saint Augustine, and I've been exposing Milo for a long time now, and I know for a fact that he promotes pedophilia. He's promoted pedophilia several times. I know for a fact that
Facts, absolutely. Yes, he did.
he promotes eugenics, saying that homosexuals have superior genetic makeups. They inherit a superior intelligence through their genetic makeup. It's pretty Hitlerian and diabolical stuff. And so for you guys to say that you are church militant, I mean, it's not like you're, some...
Exactly. If it was some secular magazine that interviewed Milo, it would still be bad, right? But it wouldn't be that surprising. But this is church militant, okay? Militant. What is militant? I mean, the word is self-explained in the actual word itself. It's combative Catholicism. That's what Voris has been promoting. In fact, Voris inspired me when I was a very brand new Catholic. Voris inspired me. He said when I was a brand new Catholic, I would watch Michael Voris every single day. Every day I watched Michael Voris. Without fail. Watched him. And Michael Voris said something that I will never forget. He said, if you are a Christian and you truly love Jesus, are you willing to one day pick up the rope and drive the merchants out of the church? And I heard Michael Voris say that. And I thought about it, and I said, you know what? This guy is right. And I remember when I saw Yarbrough, Father Yarbrough, a priest who was a predator, a sexual predator who sexually assaulted a young man, a mentally vulnerable young man in the church. I decided that I was going to confront Michael Yarbrough. Michael Yarbrough approached me one day and asked me if I wanted to meet him outside of the church. And I researched Yarbrough, found out that he did this to a young man years prior and that he sexually assaulted him. And I remember I remember calling up Yarbrough and I said, I'll take you up on your offer. Let's meet somewhere. And he said, I prefer to meet in my office. And that sent chills through my body because I remember reading that when he asked to speak with this young man, he said, come to my office. And the young man went to his office and he sexually assaulted the young man in the office. So he was a predator. He was preying on me, and I knew exactly what he was doing, and I confronted Yarbrough. Not only did I confront Yarbrough, I went to the asshole's church, and I confronted him in the church, and the ushers told me to leave, and I remember yelling at the ushers, yelling outside of the church that this guy was evil, that he was a predator, and it was my way of trying my best to emulate Christ when he confronted the people in the temple. So Michael Voris inspired me. And here is Michael Voris, church militant, working with this guy who pushed pedophilia. How can you be church militant and not combat this bullshit? How can you be church militant and be nice with this evil? Bottom line.
Novus Ordo, like soft Catholic group, like you're church militant, and for you guys to be promoting this guy, it's like, what is going on?
Well, I don't know that we're promoting him.
I don't know if we're promoting him, but we're bringing him on the show, and we're being really nice to him, and we're asking him really nice questions, and we're being really friendly with him, but we're not promoting him, so it's okay.
I mean, he's stepped into the Father Martin thing.
Right, yeah, but when you post this photo up and you got the interview and all this, I mean, it's promotion of his work. And I'm reading through the comments on Facebook, and a lot of people love Milo, and there was a lady who posted information about him promoting pedophilia, and Church Militant is like, you know, obviously you guys know about this now, that he has promoted pedophilia, pederasty, older men sodomizing younger boys.
By the way, I wasn't planning on posting this video up. I wasn't planning on posting the video up no matter what. If he would have said, Ted, you're right, we're taking it down, you're absolutely right, we're going to take it down, or we're going to bring him on the show, and we're going to confront him, we're going to challenge him, then I would not have posted this video. But because Michael Voris acted so belligerent with me and just was so impervious to anything that I was telling him, I said, you know, I'm posting this video up.
Why even give this guy any sort of limelight, especially Church Militant?
Well, I think I just said it. He stepped into the Father Martin debate. Or not debate, but the Father Martin stuff, and because of his particular, America Magazine got in touch with him, as far as I understand it, got in touch with him and said, hey, here's some questions for you. You know, did you read the article?
Yeah, I did. I read it. It's absolutely repulsive how you can even promote this guy. I mean, how you can even post...
We're not promoting him.
It's
We're
repulsive.
Not promoting him. He has become part of the story of the Father Martin thing.
Right, but Michael,
promoting him.
There is no context in which this is ever good. He's sitting there talking about I joke.
Yeah.
Do you know that he promotes sisters of those trans who dress up as nuns?
Yeah, that's right. Milo was speaking very positively about the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence or something like that. It's like a cult, a trans cult that mocks Catholicism. And there was this whole controversy about a baseball team promoting them, and everybody was freaking out. But Milo was promoting this shit. This is what I don't understand about conservatives, is that conservatives are like, oh, this baseball team promoted this trans cult, and this is terrible. And it's like, yeah, it is terrible, but Milo was promoting it, and no one gave a shit. That's what I don't understand, guys.
Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. He actually promotes that. Hello?
Every time we quote somebody, we're not promoting them. If we did that, we'd never quote anybody.
Yes.
Everybody says something that can be taken the wrong way, that is an opinion that doesn't agree with this or that or whatever. He stepped into, and actually, he didn't even do the stepping into. America Magazine brought him into it, which I think is, I think it's pretty obvious that they thought they'd have an ally.
So you're not defending Milo. So you're not defending Milo. You're exposing Milo. Is that what you're telling me?
We're not doing either.
You're not. So you're not exposing him. So you're not combating him, even though you know very well that this guy has promoted pederasty and pedophilia.
Yeah. The Dodgers, yeah, that's the team. Yeah, the Dodgers promoted this trans cult, the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence or whatever. And it's like, oh my God, this is terrible. And it is terrible. And people should be upset about it. But Milo was the biggest thing in the conservative movement, and he was promoting the same damn thing. And nobody cared. That is what perplexes me about all this stuff. That's what perplexes me about all this stuff. I'm confused, in all honesty. Like, why all of a sudden there's this backlash against this stuff? And how long is this backlash going to last? Is it going to be a couple years, a few years? Is it going to die out? If Trump wins the presidency, it's probably going to die out because everyone's thinking, oh, Trump's the president now, so who cares? Biden's gone. Please tell us, did Milo say this recently? No. But when he did, he was the biggest thing in the conservative movement, right up there with Ben Shapiro. That's my point.
And he has promoted eugenics. He has promoted every evil ideology that church militant claims to combat. And here you are posting his stuff on your website. It's disgusting. I would expect this from like EWTN, not from church militant.
I disagree. The guy is involved in...
He knows at this point he's gone. He knows at this point he is compromising. He knows at this point that he is breaking the very principles that he claims to be for. You can hear it in his voice. I disagree. You can hear it in his voice. He knows at this point, he knows what he's doing is wrong. But he's going to strive on. He's going to continue on doing it because he felt at the time that this is something that could have helped him and it was something that could have advanced his studio. That's what it was.
The issue, because America Magazine, in an effort to bolster Father Martin, contacted him and said, hey, here's a bunch of questions.
So what?
And the answer, can I finish? You called me. You asked me a question. I'm giving you an answer. America Magazine got in touch with him, ostensibly, at least he believes it, and certainly makes sense. Why would they ask him all these questions if they didn't want his answers?
Now, I'll fast forward. There's a part here that I want to show you guys that really reveals this guy. This is when I really got him. Check this out.
Newsweek, or, I don't know, Time Magazine or somebody, or the National Catholic Register, would have gotten in touch with him and asked him those questions and then refused to print it. That wouldn't be a story. That's the fact that America Magazine, Father Martin's own publication, got in touch with him and said, hey, what do you think about all this stuff? And then he slammed them, their position, and then refused to run it because he slammed them. That's a story, and that's the only story.
And on your website, it says right here.
So Michael Voris's whole point was that Milo did an interview with America Magazine, which is a Catholic magazine ran by James Martin, who's a heretic. And America Magazine decided not to publish the article, so Church Militant decided to publish the article, and that's the story. And so this was his justification to publish the interview with Milo. And he said, we're not promoting Milo, we're simply publishing the interview that America Magazine did not want to publish. And then not too long after all of this happened, Michael Voris actually brought Milo onto the studio and interviewed Milo. And not only that, but interviewed Milo several times later on. So it's not like they just posted up this interview and said, yeah, this is something that America Magazine didn't want to publish, and this is all about attacking America Magazine, and that's it. That wasn't the case. The case was Michael Voris was getting very close with Milo, and they were already wanting to collaborate with Milo for their show. That's just the bottom line. But here's when I really, really got this guy, because Voris's whole point was, we're just reporting the interview that America Magazine didn't want to publish. Well, this is when I really got this guy.
Them, their position, and then refused to run it because he slammed them. That's a story, and that's the only story.
And on your website, it says right here, we are on the same page with regard to the unchanging teachings of the church.
So Michael Voris was trying to spin it in a way that Church Militant was simply posting the interview with Milo because America Magazine didn't want to post the interview. But then here is, and I screenshotted this. Here is a line directly from the Church Militant's website. We are on the same page with regard to the unchanging teaching of the church and opposing Catholics who would try to change Christ's teachings. So Milo and Michael Voris are in complete agreement. And this is when I nailed them. Because how in the hell can you call yourself Church Militant and then declare and affirm that you are in complete agreement with the guy who promotes pedophilia? Drop the mic, yo. You just got snuffed out. And watch how Voris, listen how Voris squirms. Listen to this.
So you and Milo are on the same page.
We who?
We who? I don't know what's going on. What's going on, guys? I don't even know. We and who? Let's read it again, Michael.
And Milo, you are on the same page. That's what it says right here on your website. It says right.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Like a criminal who gets arrested. I don't know what's going on. What are you guys talking about?
I'm quoting your website.
Milo.
We are on the same page with regard to the unchanging teachings of the church. So Milo is on the same page with you on the church's teachings. Even though he promotes... Oh my goodness.
We who?
Let me act stupid until I get out of this phone call.
We, Church Militant. That's what it says on your website. We are on the same page with regard to the unchanging...
Yep. And the lady who works for Michael Voris, what's her name? Christine Miles, whatever. She wrote me and she said, I'm the one who wrote that. Just what she told me. She said, I'm the one who wrote that shit on the site. Here we go.
Teachings of the church and opposing Catholics who would try to change Christ's teachings. So Milo is opposed to the people who would want to change Christ's teachings, even though he promotes pedophilia and homosexuality and eugenics. Apparently, eugenics is not a big crime to you.
Oh my God. Silence! The sound of silence.
Theo, I'm sorry you're all blown out about
You're weaseling your way out of this.
You are weaseling your way out.
And challenged Father Martin.
Let's repeat our... Wait, what's going on? Oh, I got this song playing, sorry. Let's repeat ourselves over and over again. Oh, it's about Father Martin. And Michael Voris just weaseled himself out of this phone conversation.
Your thing your way, we'll run our things our way.
And he said, "We're done. Let's just agree to disagree."
Oh, yeah.
And he ended the conversation, and that was that. Milo is very verbally persuasive. No, he's not. How? You know what? I'm not even going to debate you on this. There's no point. But he's not verbally persuasive. He's only verbally persuasive to those who, I guess, aren't truly connected to the fact that we shouldn't support people like him. I don't know. I don't see where the appeal is. But I remember exposing Milo. And how many people supported me? Not a lot. Got a lot of hatred for it. I can't tell you how many British single moms attacked me. A lot of British women attacked me. How dare you? I am so appalled and befuddled by your words. My friend is a member of the club. Here we go. Here we go, guys. So much bullshit out there. And I remember Dennis Prager. There was a time when the conservative movement just went gay. It just went gay. I mean, it just took the rainbow flag and just wore it as apparel. It just went gay. It was like Michael Voris and Milo and Dennis Prager, and they all just went gay. What do I mean by that, guys? Let me play you guys a clip. I was the first and only person to expose Dennis Prager for this. Here we go.
So, but my value system warned me, and this is the key.
Here we go. Here's Dennis Prager.
I sense you don't, I don't want to say you don't particularly care, because you're a caring person.
I do. LGBT.
Yeah.
If it was LG.
That maybe if.
Here is everything wrong with the conservative movement in one clip, guys. And I was the first and only person that exposed this nonsense. This video, the original video, hold on. How many views did the original video get? This video got how many views? It's like 1 million views or something. Prager is an absolute sick bastard. Dennis Prager. What's the name of that guy? Dave Rubin. So this video, the original one got over 500,000, 575,000 views. Okay, over 500,000 views. And I remember when this video came out, I watched the entire thing. Here's the video, just to give you guys perspective. I remember watching this video when it first came out, like 2017, I think this video came out. Was it 2017? Yep, January of 2017. I watched the whole thing in its entirety. And I heard Prager spout bullshit, disgusting crap like this. Here it is.
If you let gay people get married, that they would actually be allied with you in this.
But they're not. It's LG. I said
except some of
it's
them are because
LGBT.
Yeah.
If it was LGB, then they wouldn't be.
So if it's just LGB, I have no issue. My only issue is with the T. That's what he's saying.
They added the T.
Now check this out.
Yes.
I'm not even doing that.
By your sexual orientation.
Yeah.
That's what normal. I'm not saying heterosexual is more normal. By the way, I actually believe bisexual is the norm.
I believe bisexuality is the norm. This is from the mouth of Dennis Prager, everybody.
So I know all about this. I thought the Bible was merely reinforcing the anti-gay feelings that permeated surrounding society. But it was unique. The Bible said
Here, check this out. Here it is, guys.
Men, you are as happy with boys. I don't mean 8-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Just as a grown man is happy with a 15-year-old girl. But in that sense, homosexuals and heterosexuals are identical.
Let's hear that again. Let's hear that again.
The Bible said, men, you are as happy with boys. I don't mean 8-year-olds, 15-year-olds.
Yeah.
Just as a grown man is happy with a 15-year-old girl.
The Bible says you are just as happy with the boy as you are with the girl. What Bible is he reading? I don't know. Some Jewish stuff I've never heard of before. Somewhere lost in the archives of the occult and the Kabbalah. I don't know what bullshit he's reading. But this is what this asshole was saying. And the video, when it first came out, guys, had over look at this. The video has over 500,000 views. And you would think out of hundreds of thousands of people, somebody would have picked it up. But the only person who picked it up was some random obscure Middle Eastern guy running a small YouTube channel. I'm talking about myself here, guys. You're saying out of all these hundreds of thousands of comments, okay, now, if you look at the most recent comments, you'll see that some people picked up on it. Okay? But when I first found this video back in 2017, how many people actually mentioned this? Nobody. How many people pointed this out? Nobody. Nobody. And I received almost nothing but hatred from people. I have people that I knew contact me saying, Ted, what are you doing? Why are you attacking Dennis Prager? And I'm like, did you see what the guy said? Yeah, but I think you're taking it out of context. In what context is it okay to say that the Bible says you're just as happy with a boy as you are with a girl? People were attacking me for this. And this was 6 years ago. The only person who supported me was some black guy on YouTube who had a great YouTube channel that's no longer there. It's called The Doctor Common Sense. That's what it was called. Ran by an African-American gentleman. He was the only guy who supported me. He did a video about what I pointed out about the video of Dennis Prager saying this evil stuff. And he exposed Dennis Prager. Okay, he went against Dennis Prager. That was it. The only person who supported me was that guy, the Doctor of Common Sense. That's what he called himself, the Doctor of Common Sense. So the question I have, let's see. Question I have, why the backlash now? Why the backlash against this movement now? I'm glad that it's happening, don't get me wrong. But 10 years ago? 6 years ago, 7 years ago, we saw the conservative movement, let's see, push the gay Republicans, Dennis Prager pushing pedophilia, Milo pushing pedophilia, while being the biggest thing for conservatives. We saw people like Crowder bringing Milo on, people like Voris bringing Milo on, and there was no backlash. But now all of a sudden there is? It's insane, guys. It's so insane. So insane. All of a sudden, there's a backlash. I don't get it. I don't get it. I remember confronting Father Yarbrough in his church. Do you know how many Catholics actually supported me? I could probably count them in my hands. I got hundreds and hundreds of comments for that video of me confronting Michael Yarbrough. Almost all of them, we're talking like 98% of them, were against me. Nobody's saying, yeah, get that guy. Very few people saying, glad Ted is confronting this asshole. Look, this is so great. Glad someone is finally standing up to these perverts who are wearing the priestly garb. Nope, hatred. And some Catholic guy said that I should commit suicide for what I did. that I should throw myself off a window because Michael Voris has done, Michael Yarbrough has done more for society than I ever will. Why are Catholics acting like a cult? That's how cults act. Cults tell their members to kill themselves when they are challenging the narrative or when they are confronting the leaders for whatever evil shit they're doing. It's sickening, guys. It's sickening. But now all of a sudden there's a backlash. Why? Because they put a cross-dresser on a beer can? Oh, now everyone's mad? But when major conservative figures were pushing for this bullshit, no one gave a damn? Oh, we needed them because, we got to fight the Dems, got to stick it to the libs. Give me a fucking break, guys. Seriously, what a bunch of bullshit. All of a sudden now, there's a backlash. I'm glad there's a backlash, but why now? Why wasn't there a backlash 10 years ago? Why wasn't there a backlash 6 years ago? Why wasn't there a backlash against the conservative movement? That didn't happen. Oh, and I'm pretty certain that all the people who were attacking me for what I was saying are now the same people today who are saying, oh, yeah, pride rallies, so bad, guys. Drag shows are bad. Drag shows are bad, guys. Why weren't you saying that shit 10 years ago? 6 years ago? 7 years ago? Uganda now making laws? I was supporting Uganda back in 2013. You can look it up if you don't believe me. Go on shoebot.com. You'll see. I was supporting Uganda back 2013, 2014. I was supporting Uganda. I was supporting Russia and their laws against this shit. This hellish garbage. The Christian world, what was their support for Uganda? It didn't exist. No one gave a shit about Uganda. Everybody hated Uganda. In fact, Douglas Murray, who is now a very, very famous conservative speaker, Douglas Murray attacked Uganda for this. Oh yeah, don't believe me, you can look it up. Do you know who else has attacked Uganda? And this is so sickening. Do you know who else has attacked Uganda? Pope frickin' Francis. Pope Francis attacked Uganda. Here is the man, Vicar of Christ, God's representative on earth, running Christ's church, running the church founded by Jesus, running the church founded by the man who destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. And Uganda says, we don't want this shit in our country. And what does Pope Francis do? He says, human dignity, this is so terrible. We cannot, Uganda, no, being very bad. You are being very bad. It is injustice. What you are doing is an injustice against a human dignity, human dignity. So Christ's representative is bashing the country that's fighting Sodom. You know what that tells me about the Vatican? The Vatican has joined the fold of Sodom. The Pope is no longer a shepherd. He is an acolyte of Sodom. Bottom line. That is the bottom line, guys. He's no longer the vicar of Christ. I think Rome lost that mantle a long time ago. Rome was given the mantle by God. God says, Rome, you know what? Israel rejected me. Okay, we're done. Rome, you're carrying the mantle now. Here you go. You know what Rome is doing now? Rome has abandoned the mantle. It threw it away. Who's holding the mantle now? You know who it is? You know who's holding the mantle right now? The Russians. That's right. Ruski Mir. That's who's holding the mantle. Ruskis are holding the mantle. And the Chinese are doing more against Sodom than the Western Christians are. And you see the Africans fighting this stuff. And the Africans don't give a shit about NATO pressure. Back in 2013, the Ugandans passed a law. And then they had to rescind it in 2014. Why? Because all of the Nazis in the West were saying, you can't do that, you primitive Africans. You can't. If you do that, we're going to cut you off from aid. So the Africans are like, oh, please, America, don't do this. And they canceled the deal. Well, now the Ugandans have passed it. And they don't give a damn what America says. Why? You know why? Because America doesn't dominate Africa anymore, guys. America doesn't run Africa anymore. You know who runs Africa right now? The Chinese. The Chinese are beating America right now. They're investing more into Africa than any other country in the world. And now the Russians, they're beginning to stick their foot into Africa. They're now beginning to invest into Africa and establish a strong presence in that continent as well. They're vying with the Americans over who's gonna dominate Africa. And the Russians and the Chinese are dominating Africa. And the Russians and the Chinese don't give a shit about the LGBT. So the Ugandans are giving the middle finger to NATO and to America, and they say, we don't need you anymore, America. We don't need you now, America. We have a China. We have a Russia. Russia is our friend. That's what's happening. How do Catholics hold on while the Pope loses it? How the hell am I supposed to answer that? I have no idea. How? If I told you how, you wouldn't listen to me anyway. I told you guys what to do back in 2014. I told you guys what to do already. Operation Whip. I told you already what to do. I addressed it. I wrote an article about it. I talked about it in videos. Operation Whip. You know a priest is evil? You confront that freaking priest. And you get that shit on film. That's what I did with Yarbrough. And if enough people did this, the Vatican would have to reform itself. They would say, you know what? Enough people are getting pissed at us. There's a huge backlash. Listen, what Americans did against Bud Light, you got to do to the Catholic Church. Bud Light's like, our revenues are going down by 30% every month, every 2 months, or however long it took. Everything's just going down. Everything's going down, guy. 30% declines. It just doesn't stop at this rate. We're gonna be devastated. You think Bud Light learned? You damn right they learned. You have to do the same thing with the Vatican. You got to treat the Vatican like a business. You have to treat it like a business. The way that you guys hit Bud Light, you got to hit the Vatican. That is just the bottom line. That's the only way it's going to work. That's the only way it's going to work, guys. Or else forget it. Forget it. The Vatican's done. That's it. If you don't confront the priests are just going to continue on doing their bullshit. Doing their evil shenanigans. Bud papacy. I don't get it. I confronted Voris. I confronted the Catholic Church. I exposed Dennis Prager. How much love did I get? Very little. Very little. All of a sudden there's a backlash because they put on a beer can. But you know what, guys? I'm glad everything happened the way it did. You know why? Because I met some very amazing people on the way. I never got super famous, although I did have a substantial following at one point, and my website was getting millions of views at one point, and I did make some pretty decent money. Nonetheless, at the end of the day, I met some very amazing people. I did. I met some very amazing people. And they are people that I still talk to today. Albeit it's in the Matrix, but still. It was fun. I met some wonderful people. Very funny people. And that was it. That's it. That's it. And the whole ship is burning right now. The Vatican is burning, spiritually speaking. The whole thing is burning. The whole damn thing is burning. And you know what? I don't give a damn. I don't. You know why I don't give a damn? Because the people in the ship, alongside the leaders, burned it down. Nobody came from the outside and said, let's burn the ship down. No. The people within the ship itself decided to light the whole thing on fire. I don't give a shit. That's my whole belief. I don't give a damn.